Hello everyone, thank you so much for clicking on today's video and welcome to my channel. In today's story, OP reaches out to Reddit because her partner's acting really strange. They live in an apartment complex and somebody lives both above and below them. And right below them there's a baby, and I'm pretty sure you all can guess how babies are. When they're born, especially before they develop a sleep schedule, they're crying a lot, or at least the majority of them are. And that's just the nature of a newborn child. There isn't really something that parents can do about it. However, OP's boyfriend is definitely throwing a tantrum over something that she can't control. Anyways, things do come to a head in an update, so stay tuned to find out. I do hope that you enjoy this story. If you do, please leave a thumbs up. And before I move on to the story, I just wanted to take a second and thank all of my subscribers. Thank you so much, you guys are so wonderful. For those that are new here, if you do like my content and you'd like to support me, I would really appreciate it if you could hit the subscribe button. Anyways, thank you so much for your time, and onto the story. My boyfriend is freaking out about the baby in the apartment below mine. This is a throwaway because my boyfriend knows my real account. I, a 23-year-old female, live in an apartment building on the middle floor. So there's someone under and above me. I don't really mind the noise, I just tune it out. But about maybe a year ago, the couple living below me had a baby. Now I think it's common knowledge that babies are loud. They cry, they scream, and parents can't do much about it. I just kind of deal with it. However, my boyfriend, a 24-year-old male, isn't quite as accepting. We've been together for about 10 months, and he comes over to my place most nights, even though he does have an apartment of his own and I have 2 roommates. I can only assume that the baby's room is under mine because we can hear him, or her, I don't know, cry very clearly, and we hear his parents talk and sing lullabies to calm him down. It's annoying, but it is what it is. For some reason, my boyfriend goes completely nuts about it. Every day he goes on about how he hopes the baby will finally shut up, and how rude it is that the baby cries, and how he can't believe that the parents allow him to make noises like this. He ignores me when I tell him that it's just a baby and that the parents are doing what they can. I mean, I'm sure that they are a lot more annoying than we are. Then at night, if he's woken up by the baby crying, which happens almost every night, he'll wake me up and start complaining about it. I've also told him many times to get earplugs, or if it annoys him so much, we can stay at his apartment sometimes, but he always says that he doesn't want to give in, whatever that means. Things kind of exploded last night when he, once again, woke me up in the middle of the night and shouted that he couldn't stand this anymore. He was really angry. I've honestly never seen him like this. He kept saying that I had to deal with this and that he couldn't live like this. I told him to please calm down, and he screamed that I had to go shut the baby up. I said that I didn't know what to do. It wouldn't change anything to bother the parents. And then he stopped pacing, looked at me, and just said that I obviously cared more about a random child than I did about him. I told him that no, I love him and I want him to be happy, but he just grabbed his clothes and left, banging every door on his way out. I tried texting and calling him, but he doesn't answer me. I just don't know what to do. I love him so much, but I feel like he's going overboard. It's a baby, for God's sake. Should I go talk to the parents? I feel like that wouldn't help, but maybe it would calm him down. How do I talk to him about it? I just really need advice on how to deal with all of this. Please help me. Too long didn't read? My boyfriend is reacting very strongly to the baby living in the apartment below mine and stormed out after waking me up at night, saying that I don't care about him if I refuse to fix the situation. I don't know how to deal with this. Hi everyone. It's been 2 weeks since my post and I definitely wasn't expecting the kind of engagement that I got. I thought you all deserved the end of the story, even though no one asked for it. If you want to remember what this is all about, please read my old post. Basically, the day after I posted, my boyfriend texted me to say that he was expecting an apology from me. I thought about what you all said about not letting him in my place again and about how I should be careful, and told him that I wanted to meet him in a coffee shop away from my apartment. He tried telling me that he would just come to my house, but I stood my ground and said no, I was going to meet him there. When we met, I started by listening to some advice I got. I asked him about why the crying baby was bothering him so much, as well as telling him about misophonia, ASD, OCD, and all the stuff that I was told he might have. I could see that he was getting annoyed by my questions, so I was trying to be quick, but he was rolling his eyes and tapping his fingers. Once I was done, he just kind of went, "That's it? That's all you want to say?" I told him that I was just trying to understand because his behavior about the baby wasn't coherent with who I thought he was, and he very rudely said that we had a bigger problem than a baby if I actually thought that he was crazy like that. I said that I didn't think that he was crazy, just that we have to figure out why he's reacting so intensely to a crying child, because if there's no logical reason, it means that he's incapable of handling himself like a grown-up. I told him that I didn't want that in my life, that I can't have a future with someone who refuses to deal with his issues, and that I was not there for him to treat me so horribly. I was ranting and speaking very loudly, and he was just sitting there, staring at me with his mouth open like a fish. I've never spoken to anyone like that in my life. I think that I just read so many comments telling me to grow a spine that I must have started to believe it myself. I felt really proud. I'm usually so bad when it comes to saying what I actually think, and this time I did it. I waited for his response for a couple of seconds before asking him what he was thinking. He was breathing really deeply and was bright red, and he said, really angrily, that I wasn't who he thought I was if I could speak to him that way. He said that I was meant to love him for who he was and want him without trying to change him, and a bunch of other crap about how wrong it was for me to say things like that to him. At this point, I was done. I was already almost crying because the whole conversation was so hard for me, and his reaction just showed me that he didn't care about me or what I was telling him. I got up and I told him that we were done, that I didn't want to speak to him anymore. I think I also said that I deserved better. I left before he could, which was very dramatic, and I just didn't want to hear him anymore. Since then, I know that he tried to call me, text me, and come by my place, but I told my roommates that I didn't want to see him, and they've been very helpful. He came by 2 days ago again and banged on the door until my roommate's partner told him that we were going to call the police. That seemed to shut him up, to use his own words. It's been really hard. I know that I should probably be dancing and thanking every available god that I got out of that relationship, but still, it was almost 10 months of my life with someone I thought loved me. I'll be fine, but it's still hard to suddenly be alone. In other news, I finally met the baby from the apartment below mine. He has really big, gorgeous brown eyes, and he smiled at me. His parents are nice. They let me high-five him, and I swear I almost cried. I'm glad I didn't bother them. They seem like a happy family, and I'm sure that they're doing their best. The baby was really cute too. I want to thank everyone who commented or messaged me, even the ones who were rough. I had all of your voices in my head when I met with my now ex, and I don't think that I could have spoken to him if you hadn't told me that I deserved more. Thank you all. Too long didn't read? I tried to talk to my boyfriend and ended up leaving him. He has issues and I can't fix him. I'll be fine. So guys, what did you think about this? Honestly, I am so confused about what on earth OP's boyfriend was thinking. Like, one, it's not even your apartment. You live alone in your own place. You can just take your girlfriend there and spend the nights there instead of staying at your girlfriend's apartment. Especially when there's a baby that's keeping you up at night. And also, a conflict against a baby is the hill that OP's boyfriend decided to die on. Like, what the F? And also, what on earth could have OP possibly done in this situation? It's a baby. Babies cry. There really isn't much that the parents can do. Now, if this was somehow like a child, like, I don't know, maybe like 5 or 8 or something, and they're throwing tantrums, then maybe it's a different scenario. But it's literally a newborn baby. I can't with this boyfriend. And the sheer amount of red flags that we see here is unimaginable. Like, you cannot expect somebody to support you unconditionally. That's some really high expectations, and I think that's extraordinarily toxic, especially if you're in the wrong. I think relationships should be built in such a way that not only are you and your partner compatible, but you also help each other to become better people. And I really don't think OP's boyfriend saw it that way. Anyways, I do hope that he sets his expectations right. And I'm sorry that OP is going through some bad heartbreaks, but I'm so glad that she's out of such a toxic situation. Anyways, what did you guys think? Please let me know in the comments down below. If you did like the story, I would really appreciate it if you could leave a thumbs up. And please subscribe if you'd like to hear more stories from Reddit with updates.